Hello, my name is Nick Schmidt, and today I'm going to be talking about making wine and bottling it. Before we jump into the wine making process, we have to get acquainted with the supplies we're going to use. First, we'll get acquainted with our ingredients. The grapes, which will of course be turned into the juice, the yeast, which makes the wine an alcoholic beverage, and the sulfate, which draws the sediment down to the bottom of the barrel. The barrel is actually called a carboy. This is what you put all your ingredients in and stir it up and let it sit, and the wine is actually made in here. You also use a siphon after the wine's done in the carboy to get the wine to the individual bottles. Then you cork the bottles and to seal it so the air does not ruin the wine. You use a cork machine to get the bottles in, and it squeezes the corks and pushes it down just about under the rim of the wine bottle. And then you have the labels to make sure everybody knows what wine it is, and then the boxes to put the wine in. You also have the airlock, which goes into the carboy, which seals it off and lets the CO2 rise out so the barrel does not explode from the yeast. And then lastly, you have your disinfectant, so nothing bad gets into your product. After your supplies are known, you have to worry about your environment. Your environment has to be from 45 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is to keep the wine process going smoothly so the wine does not go bad. Another thing to worry about the environment is the germs in the room. You don't have to have it completely sterile or necessarily have it all out of stainless steel, but where the wine is exposed, it needs to be extremely clean because the germs and smells in the room can affect the wine, because wine is extremely absorbent and it can ruin a whole batch. After your environment and your supplies are all taken care of, you can start making some good wine. First, you pick some grapes and you clean them to get all the dirt and germs off. Then, you put them in the grape press and make it into juice. After this, you have to worry about the color of the wine, because whenever you have the grape skins in the juice, it makes the wine darker color, and when you don't, it makes it light. Also, when there's grape skins in the wine, it's a more sharp taste, and so you have to let the wine age longer to get it to be a good wine. After you put the wine or the juice into the carboy, you put in the yeast and the sulfate, and you stir it and so everything dissolves. You put the airlock on and you let it sit for a month to 2 months. When that period of time's up, you get the siphon and you unseal the airlock and you siphon the wine into the individual bottles. You want to siphon it down to about an inch where the sediment starts, so you don't waste any wine, but you don't get any of the sediment that's on the bottom. And then you cork the bottles and you label them and you box them up. A few facts that are good to know when making wine is why the bottles are made how they are. The long bottle with the skinny neck is so whenever the wine is corked, there could be some air still getting in or affecting the wine, and so the surface area is minimal because the air to the wine can ruin the wine. Another thing is whenever you're measuring the alcohol percentage of the wine, you can use a vinometer, and this is what it is. You put the wine on top and you let it sit for a little bit, and then you turn it over and you have numbers up here, and as it drains out, the further it drains down, the more alcohol percentage it has in it. I got most of my information from my brother Brett. He's been making wine since 2005, and he started just shortly after he went to a winery and got inspired. And now we have a vineyard called the Resurrection Vineyard, and we make wine, and we're planting more vines now. Now that you know about wine and the whole process, pop open a bottle and pour yourself a glass and enjoy.